people are saying that when you go beyond the savings account, when you go beyond the government bond, then everything should have a risk attached to it. Not when it's Pag Ibig Mp2. And I'll say this over and over. Pag Ibig Mp2, your money is locked in for 5 years. Hey guys, so in this video, I want to talk about, is Pag Ibig Mp2 actually safe? And please do note that this video is coming from a person who takes a lot of risk, who's a big fan of NFTs, the crypto market, and the stock market as well. And as you all know, NFTs, the crypto market, and the stock market has a lot of volatility. So at the end of the day, when I start looking at other assets, okay, NFTs, the project that you could enter into could possibly get rug pulled, it could go to zero. The crypto project that you could enter into, even if it's a solid project, people can sell it down and it could not actually go back anymore to where it was. In the stock market also, it also happens, especially if you buy companies with bad fundamentals, or you buy companies that there are certain things that are above and beyond the control of the business that certainly hits the revenue model. And that's why we've also seen stocks that have started to go down as well. This is a safer route. When you look at even bonds are basically companies that are borrowing money. They could actually also default on those debts, and as they default on those debts, you as a person who lends the money to them may not get your investment back as well. Now let's go back to the main topic of this video. Is Mp2, Pag Ibig Mp2 actually safe? Is it something that's better off also comparing it to other investments such as stocks, cryptocurrencies, forex, bonds, etc.? Here's one interesting fact about Pag Ibig Mp2 that a lot of you need to know. It's mandated, and I have tons of videos about that. Check it out in the description below. By law, that whatever you place in for Pag Ibig Mp2, at least your capital is protected. It's secure. What kept me from looking at it in 2017, 2018, when people were mentioning it already to me, is I thought that, okay, it may be something that there's a cap to what's actually guaranteed. There's a cap to what's actually protected. But no, whatever you put in for Pag Ibig Mp2, it's protected, it's secure, it's mandated that whatever gets placed there, at least by the current form of laws that we have right now, your investment is protected. And I just want to clarify this. It's only the money that you place in that's actually guaranteed. Please do note that, and that's a very, very good distinction, because your earnings are not guaranteed. A lot of people get in thinking that, okay, it's guaranteed. That actually means that it's similar to a time deposit where my capital is guaranteed, plus my earnings also, if it says 1%, is actually guaranteed as well. No, it's not. What's only guaranteed, the money that you placed in, i.e. your capital. Your earnings, what you will get, is not. Please do remember, what they're giving you is not interest. What they're giving you is dividends. And dividends are not guaranteed, because for those who have been watching my stock market videos, dividends mainly come from the revenue of the company, which actually means that if this year the company is not earning well, then the revenue that people who placed money in won't be as good as times when it was actually higher as well. I want to show you this. This is the amount of dividends that Pag Ibig Mp2 gave out for the previous years and also up until 2020. Please do note that by the time I'm recording this, they still have not disclosed yet the dividend yield for 2021. But as you can see here, it's still better than majority of the savings accounts. It's still better than majority of government bonds that we actually have, which please do note that for bank accounts, it's protected, but up until 500,000 pesos. For bonds, it's only government bonds that are protected. If you go the bond route and you go the corporate bond route, that's not actually protected anymore. If the company defaults, you lose your capital, you lose also the ability to actually earn off of that investment as well. But for Pag Ibig Mp2, your capital is secured, your earnings are not guaranteed because it's based off dividends. But as you can see right here, they're very consistent. They have been giving out dividends, but not just that, the dividends that they have been giving out are higher than bank accounts, are higher than some of the bonds that have been released. I don't know if you know this, that there's also a Pag Ibig Mp1, that's the normal contribution that we actually have. That being said, the Pag Ibig Mp1, the contribution that's there, Pag Ibig Mp2 essentially has to be 0.5% higher than what Pag Ibig Mp1 is actually giving. The earnings may be variable, but if you look at it from the dividends that they've given out, even at the height of the pandemic, something that we've seen a lot of companies get affected, the earnings, the dividends that they have been giving have been fairly well. Even in the stock market, if you try to analyze it, there were some companies that slashed their dividends. There were some companies that actually even took out all of the dividends that they were giving out primarily because they got hit. But Pag Ibig Mp2, they actually were okay. They were able to give out dividends. That actually means also that at the height of the pandemic, people were still taking out loans. At the height of the pandemic, people who owed money still were paying out the loans that they actually had. The basic business model of Pag Ibig Mp2 is this. You give money to Pag Ibig. The money that you give them, they will use it so that when Filipinos, other people need to buy a house, they will use the money that you gave to be able to loan it to other people. So the next question you need to ask yourself is this: does every Filipino have a house already? If the answer to that is no, that's Pag Ibig's target market. As long as there will be people who need houses, then Pag Ibig will be relevant. As long as the people who bought before have the capability to be able to pay out their loans, then Pag Ibig will have revenue. But in the same way, please do remember this, that every Filipino, not even Filipinos but a lot of people want to have a place that they can call their own. Of course, there are certain people that just like renting because it gives them the ability to live life at their own terms. It gives them the ability to be able to go wherever they like. It gives them the ability not to think about taxes attached to the property that they own. It gives them the ability also not to think about maintenance and repairs. But that being said, there's still a larger portion of the population that still likes to own a house, that still wants to buy a house. And up until we saturated that, Pag Ibig will still have a very, very good market, and by the numbers, through the worst times, they've still given out dividends. So, to answer the question, is your capital safe in Pag Ibig? Yes, it is. Is your capital secure? Yes, it is. Whatever you placed in, regardless if you're putting in the 500 pesos a month or you're in the millions already, you've placed a ton of money in Pag Ibig Mp2, it's safe, it's secure. Are your earnings guaranteed? Not really. But what we can say is the dividend payout of Pag Ibig is consistent. The dividend payout of Pag Ibig was there even at the height of the pandemic, where a lot of other companies slash their dividends. The dividends of Pag Ibig is something that's higher still than other savings accounts. It's higher still than a lot of those government bonds. So not bad for something that's guaranteed, that's giving you a higher rate of return. People are saying that when you go beyond the savings account, when you go beyond the government bond, then everything should have a risk attached to it. Not when it's Pag Ibig Mp2. And I'll say this over and over. Pag Ibig Mp2, your money is locked in for 5 years. Meaning, it forces you to save it. It forces you to invest, that you don't touch it. And that's the beauty of it. And that's why I'm a big fan of it, because the best way for you to be able to grow your money is when you don't see it. It's when you don't touch it. Because when it's easily touched, it's easy to get tempted to spend it. And what's setting aside money for something that you don't want to touch so that you can also fund your future? And I think there's merit there. There has to be a generation of people that will think about their future first and just being satisfied and enjoyed today. It's true that you only live once, that you live and enjoy the moment, but you also have to think about, but what if that moment lasts for 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 years? And that's where saving money and investing properly will help you and will protect you. People are scared to invest, but they're not scared spending the rest of their lives in debt. They're not scared not having any savings. If you're in debt, that should scare you. If you don't have any savings, that should scare you. And I think the main reason why people are scared to at least try it is because it's not normal. It's not taught to us. In our generation, it's not taught to us that we should actually save money, take risks, and actually invest. And when something is introduced that could give you a return, people shy away. Please remember, better to have your money saved and invested, even if there's a possibility, an inkling of risk, versus wasting everything that you don't get to have your money work hard for you. That's the saddest thing ever. What I want you to change your mindset on is to build assets. Assets that will work hard for you. And Pag Ibig Mp2 is one of them, but it's not just one of them. It's something that will secure the money that you placed in. It's something that's tax-free. It's something that will give you an amount that will beat bonds and time deposits. So I hope you guys got a lot from this. I hope that this was something that was insightful for all of you. But if you want to diversify outside Pag Ibig Mp2 and you want to learn other investments, join me I have a course, webinar, Zoom, happening this March, where we're going to talk about REITs, where we're going to talk about bonds, where we're going to talk about the stock market, where we're going to talk about also Bitcoin, altcoins, and also the NFT market, which is a very, very exciting space to be in. So if you want to know more about that, you want to join us, check out the links in the description below for you to be able to join us and sign up. But if you can't join us, it's okay. You can watch the thousands of videos that I have here in my YouTube channel, because at the end of the day, I just want to give you as much value as possible. You can also check out the books that I have. Or if you want to start and invest directly already in the stock market, US stocks, $1, check it out down below, or the crypto market or the metaverse, we have everything for you. Because at the end of the day, learn, but also execute. So I hope that this was something that was insightful for all of you. If you have more questions about Pag Ibig Mp2, put them down in the comment section below, and I'm gonna make as much videos for you guys as possible. So that's it for now. This is Marvingermo. I hope this video helps you trade well, trade strong, trade smart. See you all again soon, and God bless you all.